So, you run a local service business and you know you need a website, but man, getting one can feel like a huge task. We're going to cut through the noise today and look at one of the most popular starting points for small businesses. And we're going to uncover some of those hidden trade-offs that can really cost you down the road. Let's dive in. Look, I get it. You're busy running your actual business. Maybe you're a plumber, a consultant, or you own a local cafe. You just need to get online, show people what you do, and get customers in the door. And you probably needed it like yesterday. The pressure's on to find something that's quick, simple, and won't break the bank. And that's where you see something like Wix. Their ads are everywhere, right? Promising this gorgeous, professional website with just a few clicks. It really does seem like the perfect answer. A drag and drop tool that takes you from nothing to being online in a single weekend. And honestly, for some people, that's totally fine. But for a business that wants to grow, well, that's where the story takes a turn. And this is the absolute heart of what we're talking about today. That initial ease of use, the very thing that makes it look so good at first, can turn into a massive roadblock for your business's growth. That simplicity, it has a price. And you often pay it in lost opportunities, a ton of frustration, and future expenses. So the first big problem is what I call hitting the growth ceiling. You start out and you feel so empowered because it's so easy to put something together. But pretty quickly, that feeling of freedom can start to feel more like a cage, It actually starts limiting what your business can do online. Let's break this down. You think you have total design freedom, but really, you're just coloring inside the lines of a template someone else made. Want a layout that's truly unique, that makes you stand out from the competition down the street? You're going to be fighting the tool, using all these clunky workarounds. Need a specific booking feature or a private area for clients? You might just be out of luck. And this is a big one. If you ever want to hire a pro developer to build something really custom for you, they can't even get to the source code. You're just stuck with what the platform says you can have. But out of all those limits, there is one that most business owners just don't see coming until it's way, way too late. It is the single biggest hidden cost of building on a platform like this. It's called platform lock-in. And what it means is when your business grows and you finally hit that ceiling, when you need more power, better performance, more control, you can't just move your site. You can't export it. You can't take your design and content with you in any way that's actually useful. You have to throw it all away and start over. I mean, completely, from square one. And that's the financial trap, right? You end up paying for your website twice. Once for that quick and easy starter site, and then you pay all over again for the professional, scalable site you really needed from the beginning. All that initial time and money, just gone. Okay, let's switch gears to another huge issue. Even if you're perfectly happy with how your site looks, there's a problem hiding under the surface that directly affects whether or not customers can even find you. And I'm talking about your visibility on Google. These all-in-one builders often create something called code bloat. Just think of it as extra, messy, heavy code that makes your website slow to load. Now, why should you care? Because Google is obsessed with speed. A slow website doesn't just annoy potential customers, who will probably just leave. It also signals to Google that your site gives a bad user experience. And that can seriously hurt your ranking and search results. And here's another one of those technical ceilings. A good, clean URL, like yourplumber.com/emergency pipe repair, tells both people and Google exactly what that page is about. It's like a crystal clear signpost. But on Wix, you have way less control over how these are structured. It might seem like a small detail, but believe me, in the competitive world of local search, every single signal you can send to Google counts. So here's the bottom line on this. For a local business that depends on people finding you in a search, these aren't just minor technical issues. A slow, poorly structured site is basically an invisible site. You could be the absolute best at what you do, but if Google can't find you and understand what you're about, new customers won't either. So if the easy button is actually a cage, what's the alternative? Well, it's all about shifting your mindset. Stop thinking about just getting a website up today and start thinking about building a solid foundation that can support your business for years and years to come. Now, to make this super concrete, let's compare Wix to an open platform like WordPress, which, by the way, powers something like 40% of the entire web. This isn't about saying one is good and the other is bad. It's about which tool is the right tool for a serious growing business. Looking at this chart, you can see exactly how it solves the problems we've been talking about. Design flexibility, where Wix kind of traps you in templates, WordPress gives you nearly unlimited options. Custom features, instead of a small app store, WordPress has this massive world of plugins. For SEO, you go from basic controls to having deep, granular control. And maybe most important of all, portability. With WordPress, you own it all. There is no lock-in. You can always pack it up and move. And this really brings us right back to the main point. This is a strategic business decision. Putting a bit more thought and maybe a bit more investment into a flexible, open platform from day one, it isn't really an expense. It's an investment that saves you from the much, much bigger cost of having to tear everything down and rebuild it later. Okay, so how do you know if you're the type of business that really needs to sidestep this trap? To wrap things up, let's just go through a super simple checklist to help you figure out what's right for you. Just ask yourself these 3 simple questions. First, is Google a really important way for new customers to find you? If the answer is yes, then you need maximum SEO control. Second, can you imagine needing special features down the road, like a complex booking system or a client portal? If so, you need a platform that can handle custom stuff. And third, do you see your business growing and changing over the next 5 to 10 years? If you do, you need a foundation that can grow with you, not one that holds you back. If you answered yes to even one of these, a closed builder like Wix probably isn't your best long-term bet. In the end, it all comes down to this one question. Picking your website platform isn't just a tech decision, it's a core business strategy decision. So, are you building a temporary billboard, or are you laying the foundation for your business's future? The choice you make today is going to decide whether your website becomes your most powerful tool for growth or the very ceiling that stops it.